Well, hello, everyone out there in YouTube land. Hope everyone is doing well and you're staying dry if you're from my area, or you're staying warm if you're in the Great White North. And I don't know if we have any people from here, from where it's hot. Is it hot in Australia right now? I know there's some people from Australia in the subscriber section. Well, if it is hot down there, I hope you all are able to stay cool. So I thought what we would do today, in honor of Craig Hendry being sentenced to 18 months in the Indiana Department of Corrections, is to go back and look at all of his criminal history that I was able to find. And whoa, it is a lot, people. I'm not even going to go over his 14 vehicle and traffic charges, where he's been convicted of 11 of them. But I do want to go over his 38 criminal charges, where he has only 9 convictions. Yes, only 9. And of those 9, 5 are felonies. And this is the first time he's going to prison. That really is sad, and doesn't say anything good about our criminal justice system, does it, folks? Well, right now, as far as I can tell, he still has 2 open cases with 6 charges in total, one of them being a felony charge. So let's hope he's convicted of that felony charge and he ends up with more time in state prison for the political prisoner, as he calls himself, who is still refusing to take responsibility for any of his actions, even though he was convicted by a jury of his peers. Oh, let's get right into his criminal history here, folks. And as you can see, it started back in 2020. So in 4 years, just 4 short years, he's racked up 38 criminal charges. And we're going to start out with on November 30th, 2020 in Vigo County, Indiana. They were looking for confiscation of property. It must be they have that law there where if you're convicted of a drug crime, they can steal your profits. And Craig was ordered to forfeit $5,968. Now, on 12/30/20, he was charged with dealing in Schedule 1 controlled substance, a felony, dealing in marijuana, a felony, possession of a controlled substance, a misdemeanor, carrying a handgun without a license. Well, that's what drug dealers do. That was a felony. And also possession of marijuana, that was a misdemeanor charge. He was found guilty on count 1, which he pled to a lower crime, but it was still a felony, and to count 4, which was carrying a handgun without a license. Count 2, 3, and 5 were dismissed in the plea deal, and he was sentenced concurrent with the case above that he got 4 months later. And in April 16th of 2021, he was charged with almost the same exact thing, dealing in a Schedule 1 controlled substance, dealing in marijuana, both of those are felonies, possession of controlled substance, which was a misdemeanor, possession of marijuana, which was a misdemeanor, and also possession of paraphernalia. He was, count 1, he pled to a lower count, which was still a felony. Counts 2 through 5 were dismissed in the plea bargain to get him to plead to the felony count of count 1. So now he is a convicted felon twice over within a few months. He was given probation. It didn't say how much or how many years of probation, just said probation. They gave him 2.5 years in jail, which is technically prison. He got credit for 88 days that he had already done, and they suspended 2 years in 92 days. So basically the time that he had done waiting for the sentence is what his sentence was. The other 2 years and 92 days, they put it over his head. So he also got $586 in fine and fees for those charges. And we don't go ahead very long there. In November of 2021, on November 3rd, he's charged with criminal trespass out of Greene County, Indiana, and that charge was dismissed with a $15 fee. Later in that month, 11/24/21, he's charged with DWI, endangering a person, a misdemeanor, and possession of marijuana out of Greene County, Illinois. There was a plea agreement. He would get 60 days in jail with his 14 days credit that he already had for being in there, and a $705 fine and fees, and so he pled guilty. We go ahead 5 months to April 27th, 2022. He's caught with unlawful use of a police radio. He must have had a scanner or something he had. That case was dismissed so it could be transferred to a higher court, as you'll see up above here in a few minutes. We'll see the charge. We just go ahead a week, May 2nd, 2022. He's charged with contempt of court in Newton County, Indiana. He was given 5 days in jail, and that was for filming and disrupting a court. He thought he could film in the court hallway and yell and scream and do whatever he wanted because it was his First Amendment right, and the judge showed him it wasn't. We go ahead just 2 months, and we're into July 19th, 2022. He picks up 3 charges: intimidation, threat to commit a forcible felony, which was a felony, criminal trespass, and provocation. That was at a Lake County Superior Court in Indiana. All charges were dismissed it was over 2 years later. All those charges were dismissed with a $529 court fee. We go ahead just a month, and we actually not even that, 2 weeks. August 4th, 2022, possessed marijuana, misdemeanor, and he got that charge dismissed. That was out of Greene County, Indiana. We're going to go to 10/25/22. He picks up another felony conviction. He's charged with intimidation, threat to commit a forcible felony, strangulation, domestic violence, confinement, domestic violence, domestic battery, which was a misdemeanor, and domestic battery resulting in moderate bodily injury, which was a felony. Now, in a plea agreement, they dismissed count 1 through 4, and they found him guilty of the felony domestic battery resulting in moderate bodily injury. The domestic violence determination was entered into the court. He was given 300 days in jail with 87 days credit, and that was to begin on the day he was sentenced, which was 3/8/23, and he also got $580 court fees. And we're going to go ahead just 2 months, and this is the weird one. As you can see by the picture here, he was arrested in Boyd County, Kentucky, and it says no charges there, but I found the charges to be disorderly conduct and trespassing. Nothing was found at all in the court records. So I'm going to have to call Boyd County tomorrow and just see what was up with that, what happened. Now, this is where the Superior Court came into effect for the unlawful use of a police radio. And almost a year later, he got that, or over a year later, year and a half, he ended up getting that charge dismissed, and he had to pay $334 in court costs. Oh, here we go. Here's the good one that you're really going to like, ladies and gentlemen. This is the one he just got sentenced for. October 6th, 2023, he's arrested for 2 counts of stalking and 3 counts of harassment by phone call, which were all misdemeanors. They were on separate dates. What they ended up doing was combining everything all into one case in Vermilion County. 2 of the 2 stalking charges were felonies. 1 of those charges was dismissed before trial. Another of the harassment by phone call was dismissed by trial. So actually, when he went to trial, he was only facing 1 stalking charge and 2 harassment charges. On 11/21/24, he was found guilty at a jury trial for counts 1 and 4. And count 5, the second harassment by phone call, they vacated. He was sentenced to 548 days, which is 18 months, in prison on 12/17/24. He is going to get credit for 79 days that he has spent in jail, and he's going to get what they call 2 for 1. So for every day he serves, he's going to get credit for 2. So it's a 2 for 1. He can actually be out in approximately 6 to 9 months or so. So, and he got a $40 fee. Now, we're going to go up above. We got some more charges. These are out of Greene County. On March 18th and March 14th, he picked up charges. He made a false complaint against a police officer and resisting law enforcement and unlawful encroachment of a police investigation. Those are all misdemeanor charges, and as you can see here, he's got warrants on 11/14/24. I think these are going to get thrown out, only because on 11/14/24 he was in jail in another county. But if he didn't notify him, that's going to be on him. So he technically has 2 open warrants right at the moment in Greene County, Indiana. I imagine he'll get those squashed because he was in jail, and then the court cases will move forward from there. And then the last charge that he's facing right at the moment, on October 10th, 2024, he was charged with intimidation. It was committed because of an occupation. That was a felony out of Sullivan County, Indiana. Disorderly conduct, which is a misdemeanor, and refusing to leave an emergency incident area. Must be he was trying to play journalist and wouldn't get out of the cops' way. January 14th, 25, he has a pretrial in court, and then it's set up for a jury trial in March of 2025. We'll see if that happens or if he's going to get it postponed for a little while. We have a juvenile paternity case against Mr. Craig there out of Greene County, Indiana. He tried so hard to get out of this, and he wasn't able to. And on June 5th, 2015, they finally said, "You're the daddy." So not only that, he was ordered to pay $90 a week in child support. I don't think he's going to be able to do that while he's in prison. Probably a deadbeat dad and hasn't paid it the whole time he was, in jail and out running around doing his stuff. So Craig was born in 1999, makes him 25 years old. I got addresses for him in Terre Haute, Indiana, and Farmersburg, Indiana. I got 3 different phone numbers for him. One of them he gave out in one of his videos that he made over the phone while he was in jail. So anybody that wants to go watch that video, you'll have his phone number. His brother is Keith, who is really looks up to his older brother. I don't know why. And at one time, he was part of CH and TY audits with a gentleman named Tyler. And that is all I have on Craig Hendry, ladies and gentlemen. And good Lord, that's enough. So let's hope the courts are done playing with Craig, and every time he gets arrested after this point, that the courts will hand him his ass. So maybe that he will stop this bullshit. Political prisoner? My ass. Journalist? My ass. Defender of our rights? My ass. This guy is a common criminal, and a career one at that, in just 4 years. He's been convicted of so many felonies at this point, I don't think he could get a job flipping burgers at McDonald's. So in 6 months to a year, we can expect to see this career criminal back out on the street doing what he does. So sadly, ladies and gentlemen, another officer has lost his life in the last couple days since my last video. Detention officer Isaiah Bias of the Ellis County, Texas Sheriff's Office was murdered by an inmate of the jail who assaulted Corporal Bias, and he died of his wounds. I'm sorry about that, folks. My phone keeps going off. So the inmate has been charged with capital murder, which is very good to hear, and that will bring up the total for the year to 132 law enforcement officers that have lost their lives. Please say a prayer for him, ladies and gentlemen. Say a prayer for his family and for his agency. Now, shockingly, ladies and gentlemen, I opened up the page to see 4 more law enforcement officers have taken their own lives since my last video. That is oh so sad to see. I honestly just don't know what to say. I'm at a complete loss for words, ladies and gentlemen. So what do you do or what do you say at a point like this? That's all I have for you this video, ladies and gentlemen. So until next time, y'all take care out there.